forum has a theme of democracy, the shared human values. In the past days, speakers and experts from various countries carried out thorough discussions with great significance. In the past years, some Western countries that used to be celebrated as models of democracy have witnessed a major institutional retrogression. Even President Biden, during its democracy summit, also acknowledged that a lot of democratic countries, including the United States, experienced the retrogress of democracy in the past decade. Although it is a shared value of all mankind, the development path is not going to be all smooth. Because we don't have a ready paradigm to copy from, it takes efforts and explorations from all countries, and we need to contribute our wisdom from both the East and the West. In the past week, our discussion about democracy has attracted attention from the whole world, but discussions in different places have major different motives. The Democracy Summit in the U.S. invited mostly political figures, and there is a very strong political end to the Democratic Summit. The aim is, in fact, to separate the whole world into different camps. But our forum invited experts from over 120 countries and 20 international organizations. Altogether, over 500 experts engaged in very thorough and detailed discussion and exchange. We have basically reached the consensus that democracy is diverse and developing. There isn't a one-size-fits-all model. In the past century, democracy developed dramatically in China, and fundamentally that is because China's democratic practices are closely connected with our national situation. We have been making explorations and developments the whole time. Over 2,000 years ago, philosophers, including Confucius and Mencius, proposed the idea that the people are the foundation of the state, whose stability is the foundation of a country. This is significantly different from the autonomous system of the city-state in ancient Greece. It is fair to say that without the 5,000 years civilization in China, there wouldn't be Chinese characteristics, and without Chinese characteristics, there wouldn't be socialist path towards prosperity with Chinese characteristics. In the 20th century, the Communist Party of China has been very distinctive mark of democracy since its establishment. The early leaders of CPG brought democracy and science into China and gave a first voice to the pursuit of democracy and science. The common program promulgated by the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference clearly stipulates that the People's Republic of China is a people's democratic state. People's democracy is a kind of democracy of the whole process. Since the 18th National Congress of the Communist Party, democracy has been written into the party charter and the constitution of the state as an important element of the core value of socialism. CPC has continued to deepen its understanding of democratic political development and has created a whole process people's democracy with the Chinese characteristics and the important value to the whole world, which has become an important achievement in modernization of the national governance and capacity building for national governance. Historian Tomby once said, let's not be surprised if the Chinese offer the world a gift that brings together the Chinese and Western cultures and moves history forward. Today, I think the whole process people's democracy is an important gift that China offered to the whole world. China is a faithful pursuer, an active promoter, and exemplary practitioner of democracy. China not only actively advocates people's democracy in its own country, but vigorously promotes the democratization of international relations. And here I would like to share with you a few observations on building democratic global governance system. First, democratic global governance system should be open and inclusive. Democracy is not a monopoly of just a few countries. People of the world share a common pursuit of democracy. In today's world, interdependence brought by globalization is not only limited to economic sphere, but also includes a symbiosis and coexistence of different political ideas and systems. According to the Global Survey report on China's democratic practices and governance effectiveness recently released by the Institute of Contemporary China and the World, respondents from 23 countries, including the permanent members of the UN Security Council, agreed that the common values of all mankind reached 96.7%, indicating that this concept has gathered a broad global consensus. This year, China declared a comprehensive victory in its fight against poverty, making a historic contribution to global poverty eradication. During this period, China has absorbed the beneficial experience of the international community and shared its experience in poverty reduction with other countries in the world. To give you a small example, China's micro-hydro technology has so far taken root in more than 100 countries, creating hundreds of thousands of jobs. On the contrary, we can see that some countries, unable to see the rigid decline of their own systems, has been pursuing unilateralism, hegemony, and exporting democratic model. And according to a European study, not only has the United States been listed as a regressive democracy, but the democratic decline of its allies is almost twice as fast as of its non-allies. This further shows that democracy can only decline in a closed environment and can only be nourished in an open environment. Secondly, a democratic global governance system should be based on common development. And eventually, the good or bad of a global governance system will depend on whether it's conducive to the common well-being of mankind and civilizations. At present, the unbalanced, insufficient development in the world still exists, and there is south-north gap, social injustice, hunger, poverty, climate change. These are still difficult problems that need to be solved. And it can be seen from studies by several U.S. institutions that the U.S. lost more than 200,000 domestic jobs as a result of a trade war with China. And the U.S. global trade deficit expanded from $799 billion to $916 billion last year, affecting the development of the world economy. And China's Road and Belt and Road Initiative has become a popular international public good and the largest cooperation platform with the democratic spirit of consultation, co-creation, and sharing. As of November, China has signed more than 200 cooperation documents with 140 countries and 32 international organizations, and established more than 90 bilateral cooperation mechanisms, which will increase the trade of Road and Belt countries by 2.8% to 9.7% and help 7.6 million people to get out of extreme poverty and 32 million people from moderate poverty. Thirdly, a democratic global governance system should be universally secure. Peace and security are common aspiration of the world. It has been more than 70 years since the end of the Second World War, but the world is still in chaos and strife. Some countries who claim themselves to be beacons of democracy, labels of being the free world, However, they become the biggest source of disruption of world peace. Data show that since 9/11, the U.S. has waged wars and conducted military operations covering 40% of the countries on the planet. The wars in Iraq, Afghanistan have been waged in the name of counterterrorism. These wars waged have claimed more than 800,000 lives and displaced more than 38 million people. At the Democracy Summit, some countries claim to strive to prevent the misuse of surveillance technology. However, PRISM Gate has become the world's biggest surveillance scandal. The Chinese people understand the value of peace and have long spared no effort to contribute to world peace. China has actively participated in international and regional security mechanism building and is the largest contributor to peacekeeping force among permanent members of the UN Security Council. China sent over 50,000 people to peacekeeping operations and has taken part in 25 UN peacekeeping operations. Is commended by the international community as an important force safeguarding regional and the international peace. Fourthly, democratic global governance system should be fair and just. Democratic global governance means countries should have discussions on international affairs and follow the principle of multilateralism. Individual countries claim to be the defenders of rule-based international order. However, in essence, these are the rules made by just a few countries. They're trying to impose the view of a few on the majority of countries and provoke confrontation. This outright field of multilateralism runs counter to the trend of the times and contradicts to the international consensus. And the one who actually follow these true democratic principles will be commanded by the majority of the international community. The so-called Democracy Summit organized by the U.S. is in fact of organizing factions, creating camps or small circles in the international political community and undermines democratization of global governance. China firmly adheres to the common values of peace, development, fairness, justice, democracy, freedom, firmly opposes the international system with the UN as its core and international order based on international law. China has been committed to promoting democratization of international relations. And we have signed over 600 international conventions and faithfully fulfilled China's international obligations. It's a true practitioner of multilateralism in the past 50 years since its restoration of legal seats in the UN. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no best democracy in the world, only better ones. Against the backdrop of centennial changes, the world has become more unstable and uncertain. Democracy, equality, fairness, justice are far from being realized. If we don't work together, democratization of global governance will degrade, and all countries will witness the corrosion or the erosion of democracy as a result. Therefore, countries and people with real insight should vigorously promote the spirit of democracy, enrich, develop human political civilization, promote the building a community of shared future. And China International Communication Group has always committed to strengthening exchanges, experiences in governance. And we are more willing to join you in building a network of think tanks on democracy in the world. We will create more platforms and public knowledge products to demonstrate the colorful the beauty of political civilization and to advocate shared values of all mankind and make our own contribution to building a promising future of mankind. In the end, I wish this event a complete success. Thank you.